Good morning, everyone. This is Kathy Mason from MasonWorks Marketing here on Conscious Business Zone with my friend Peter Benson. Hi, Peter.
Good morning, Kathy. How are you today?
Good. I'm so glad we could make this work because I love your products. I am a big fan of sacred geometry tools. I don't have one of those big pyramids. I've got little ones, but I've sat in a bunch of them, and
Yeah.
I have rings everywhere. I even sit on them. But these are they're a different technology than yours. So when I saw your work, it was so unique and beautiful. I wanted to own some right
Good.
away. So let's talk a little bit, Peter, so everyone can understand what you do. The name of your company is Energies of Service, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So could you talk a little bit about where you got that name?
Well, I was looking at how to structure the company when I was actually, starting the build of rings and tensor rings and pendants and anklets and stuff like that. And it's basically these energies are life energy, and I wanted to be of service, so it came out just energies of service. So And the tensor ring you just showed on screen is basically everything I create from. There are other manufacturers of tensor rings out there in the world, and I just utilize the tensor rings in a different way. I do make straight up tensor rings similar to the one you showed, but I ended up moving more towards integrating crystals with the tensor rings to create more energy and more portable uses.
Right. Well, when I met you, I got to work at Starworks USA 2021.
Yep.
And it was really stressful at the front desk. And so when I found you and Vivian, it was like, oh, a pyramid, I got to sit there.
Yep.
I knew exactly what it was. And I was so grateful for you guys and your incredible. It's almost like an integrated energy in a discordant environment.
Yes.
You create a very peaceful, loving space where you can reconnect to your core without all the chaos, right?
Yes. Yeah, between Vivian's work and my tools and the pyramid we create, Vivian and I tend to create a very quiet and calm energy field when we work together. And then when we create the tools resonate with that energy. So it's just a combination of all the above. Yeah, it's pretty
Well,
cool.
okay. So the other part that I, I would hope we get to talk about a little bit because I think what your tools do and what working with you and Vivian do is create a space for integration because right now we're being hit with more photonic energy and it's causing all our stuff, our shadows
Yeah.
to be illuminated. And and sometimes you can't do that work all by yourself, right?
Right. What's going on right now is we are getting bombarded by energies everywhere. Everything is coming to the surface, and the vibration of the planet is going up and down, and kind of sideways. And everybody's purging a lot of things that we've been brought into this life to actually purge. And the tools that I create basically help you protect your own energy while you're going through all this, so you're not bombarded by everybody else's energy or even the planet's energy. So it allows you to actually do those type of work without having too much of an interference. I mean,
Yeah.
you still have to focus on yourself and you still have to do the work, but it keeps you protected so that you can do the work without
Right.
interference.
Right.
Yeah.
It's creates a field, a
Yep.
resonance.
Yep.
And that's what so people that are highly sensitive like me and obviously like you, because you could actually feel the difference, this works and this doesn't work.
Yep.
Um,
Yes.
uh, really need assistance And the tools are one way to do it yourself rather than always having to run to get help. Um, I want to show one of the tools that I got from you. I know you just told me that you're sold out of these right now, but
Yeah.
what you do is you actually, I got to sit underneath that pyramid, holding both sides and put my intention
Yeah.
into this. And I
Yeah.
use this every day. I'm
Oh
not
yeah.
kidding. When before I come on one of these calls, I use it to make sure that I can do the best I can to help you guys, to feature you guys. And when I work with clients, I use it.
Yeah. That's actually an extremely powerful intention healing tool. And where you're holding on to, those are the output energy field. That's what actually pushes energy out those ears, and the energy goes into the coil in the middle of it. So using intention, I show people it's like, okay, use that tool. Breath work is the easiest way to examine that. It's intention. So basically, by doing breath work, if you're working on, ache or pain, breathe into the source of the ache or pain, not just the pain, but breathe into the source of it. Well, you may not know where the source is, but just breathe into it, and it's like, okay, this is a source, and then breathe out into the coil, and it just literally pulls that energy right out of you, and it's pretty intense.
Yes.
It's very powerful. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Well, and I think the past 2 weeks the energy has been wicked for me. I mean, sometimes these upgrades have been like, oh goody, I have more energy to keep going. But this one's like knocked me off center, and I don't know what I would do without this tool. And then we'll talk about this tool
Oh,
too.
the anklets.
The
Oh,
this has been a huge, huge bonus. And we'll show the website, you guys, so you can understand what this is.
yeah.
But this is a grounding tool. So,
Yes.
when I go way out, which I try to do as much as possible, and especially if I'm working with somebody and I'm way out, this is the way I can ground. I can go hug a tree in the
Yeah.
backyard, and I can do this, and I'm ready to go for the next person.
Yeah.
It's like saved me so much.
Yeah. Yeah, the Archangel Metatron anklets, that was a channeled message about 6 years ago. Metatron came to me and basically said, okay, you need to create an anklet out of a tensor ring, which is okay. I need to make something flat out of something round. That was interesting. And then, it's like Archangel, here, do this. It's like, okay, how do you make? Okay, I'll figure it out. Then he told me it's like, okay, put these 5 crystals in it, and then it has to be covered in a copper mesh. I had no idea how to make it. It took me about a year and a half of trial and error trying to find the sourcing of where do I get copper mesh. Okay, and I started searching, and it took me a long time to find it. And then I figured out the flattening of the ring, so I made it flat. Just instead of being round, I just flattened it out and then opened it up in the middle so I could actually fit the crystals in it, put the copper mesh over it, then sealed it all up.
Well, the
And
crystals are something. I
oh
mean,
yeah,
I right away, I think I went straight to that. And it was
yeah,
like, oh my God. And I needed it actually in that environment because there was a lot of discordant energy. That's all, like frantic kind of discordant energy.
oh yeah.
And so the both of these tools are just, they're just divine. That's all
Thank
I
you.
can see. Oh man.
Yeah.
I'm a
When the channeled message came in from Metatron, it was okay. So you need to create these, and the message is okay. This will help people keep their own frequency, right? So I didn't understand what that meant. So we created them, and then we brought it to a couple shows, and we've had some very sensitive people that can actually feel energies a lot more sensitive than I can. They basically put them on, and it's just like, okay, well, the anklets. One person basically said it basically takes your energy field and turns it into recycling. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but okay, that goes. And then I had another person basically said, it's like, okay, what happened? What it feels like is you're taking your energy torus that goes up and down. It actually recycles energy both directions through your crown and through your root chakra, and basically say, okay, put a cork in it. So now and basically what you're doing is you're capping your energy torus, and it turns it into a shield instead of a field that's absorbing energy. Now you're shielding, so you have a shield over yourself.
huh.
So it basically blocks you from absorbing all the other energies around you, which could be, buildings, people, whatever energies are out there. even the planet. If the planet goes up and down, your frequency will still just stay the same.
Right. Right.
And the alternative, the other feature of it is the tensor ring that the anklets are made from is the unity ring. And the unity ring is extremely grounding. So when you put those on, you feel it. It feels like you're being stretched into the ground. The grounding effect is so strong. And then the alternate, there's other effects to it, and one of them is just happens to be balancing your chakras while you're wearing it. So you have these three things automatically happening for you when you put the anklets on. So yeah, you just feel
Yeah.
better.
And I want to say that you should get two of them.
Yep,
I was gifted one as a Christmas present, and I bought this. And I want everything. So I do, because honestly, what I went. I don't know if you heard me laugh when you said put a cork in it.
yeah,
I what I found was it just brought me in and grounded me to the earth,
yeah,
which is what my power pack is. My the diamond center of the earth is
yeah,
what I use to connect to the stars.
yeah,
So this brings me straight back in,
yeah.
and quick. I mean,
Oh, it's
it's not even
instantaneous.
a
Yeah.
minute.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's pretty much within a second or two. You put them on, you just feel grounded.
yeah, yeah. But I mean, I wasn't sure that I could wear two of them walking around with
Yeah,
the dress on and stuff. I didn't quite know how to.
yeah. No, we've actually changed the website so that
Fashion.
when, yeah, we changed the website so when people order, they're ordering pairs now. So
Uh-huh.
yeah, so that makes it easier for everybody. It is what it is at this point.
Yeah.
You know, and you basically when you put one on each leg, it actually helps you ground and keeps you balanced. When you have one on one leg, you kind of have to, like you do now, is you have to go from one leg to the other leg to
Yeah.
keep yourself balanced.
Yeah. Yeah.
Otherwise, you'd be off balance. You'll feel grounded on one side. You're like, I feel good this way. It's just,
It's funny. I tend to always do that on my right side and then my left side. So
yeah,
it seems like when I'm going way out, I'm going way out on my right side anyway.
yeah,
So, but I could tell right away what it did. I could tell everything that you had, that they were tools of um, a more aware person. I don't know that it's a beginner tool. I don't know that they'll
yeah,
sense and be able to use it. Could you talk a little bit about, because you mentioned a little bit that Metatron gave you
yeah,
gave you the design, but I know you are angelic
yeah,
yourself. Could you talk
yes.
a little bit about that for me, please? For
Sure,
everyone,
sure.
not just me.
Well, through different readings and through Vivian, my wife, she's extremely sensitive. When we first met, she saw my energy field and saw that a legion of angels behind me. And at that time, I didn't even realize who I was or what was going on. So that was really interesting. And my first interaction, was that Vivian explained to me that the angels were behind me. Then Archangel Metatron came in, gave me the message, and it was actually really interesting that I'm associated with the angels and archangels. And basically, come to find out that I'm actually my angelic source is angelic, and I'm actually under Michael or a part of Michael or something along that line. I don't know the details of that too much. It's really interesting to find out and understand that when I project my energy, it is of that, which is kind of interesting. My mother would tell me I'm never, no, not an angel. I was too much of a troublesome person when I was when I was a teenager. But yeah, it's really really interesting that being associated with angelic energies and having a source from there. It's really curious. When you go through your life path, it's just really fun, and I'm just trying to figure out who you are and understanding where you're from, because we have a lot of star seeds and people. I've met a couple people in Mount Shasta this last weekend that are angelic source, and when I communicate directly with somebody that really recognizes that, I can tell. It's really interesting.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think these tools help you be sensitive in a different way. They help you be sensitive in a clear. It's clear communication. Um, some of the other tools, because I live in Boulder, Colorado, and Slim Sperling
Yes.
started all of this.
Yep.
And he actually, in the 80s, we were having 70s, 80s, we were having really bad pollution in Denver. And he created this device that
Hmm.
busted up. Downtown Denver looked like LA, where it was in a fog in
Yep.
pollution all the time.
Yes.
And he created these harmonizers and put them around and busted it up. And so it was like, oh, I want to know more about that. And
Yeah.
then I met people that had worked for him. I worked with this beautiful woman that helped write two of his books.
Yeah.
And she was using the rings and the harmonizer with her bees and then recording the sound from the bees, and people were using it for focus. Her like third version of it ended up actually helping heal schizophrenia. I
Wow.
mean, so there is so much that we don't understand
Oh
about
yeah.
the way that this whole the geometry of creation works, but these tools help harness it, right? Could you talk
Yeah.
about cubics and any of that information so people might understand that? Are you
Sure.
comfortable with
Sure.
that? Okay,
Oh,
thank
that's fine. No, like you said, Slim Sperling brought these about, and he did a lot of the work with the harmonizers and that in Denver. He placed them everywhere. I think he was in South America when he first realized how powerful those harmonizers were. He had one, and he left it in a village where he was, and then he actually flew out, and then when he flew back into town or into the city where he was going at, he realized they were about 35 or 30 some odd miles away from town. So the radius was 30 miles out. And he realized that there was a ring circling where the harmonizer was. And he was like, wow, these things are literally that far. The diameter is 60 miles. So it's like, this thing's huge. The diameter that this thing would actually, balance the energies of the atmosphere and all that. It was like, so that's how he realized how powerful these things were, and they utilized them in Denver. Um, and if you read his book, he actually took some of the rings that he was creating, and he was pointing it at storms to break them up,
you. Yep,
and he did multiple times.
yep,
So I mean, he actually did a lot of experimentation. He did a lot of the science behind it. He actually had it tested. I think it was at two scientific laboratories, and he found out there were room temperature superconductors, and the sacred qubit that he used was vibrating at 144 megahertz, and the lost qubit resonates at 177 megahertz. And he's done all that, the science behind it, and and he just really instigated the whole thing because he open sourced all of the technology and the processes and all that, while he was still doing it, and he showed everybody the power of the tools. And the science is really still hasn't, at least on the public side of things, has not really been brought out as far as how far these tools can go.
right. Well, the he was kind of a cowboy kind of guy, and one of my customers who's a chiropractor used to party together. And they'd like, let's see if we could do that. And my customer's a doctor, and he can throw energy like crazy. I mean,
Yeah.
like, oh my god! And so they were like playing. I mean, you have to find wacky friends to do
Yeah.
wacky stuff, right?
Oh, sure.
But when you said open source, that's what I mean. Basically, Tesla started a lot of this, and
Yeah.
then a lot of it went underground. Are you
Yeah.
seeing a lot of it coming back out now?
Well, there's a lot of Tesla technology that was never really hidden. It was just basically not talked about for a very long time. But the documentation, some of it was still available and out there. There was still a lot of his technology that was not brought out in the public because it was, very much it can be used as a negative or in a negative way, and lucky for us, our government got it and never used it that way. Right? Okay. Um,
Well, we don't know what we don't know.
oh well, pretty
Yeah.
sure they've used some of that stuff in their own ways.
Yeah.
Um, it's just, yeah, we don't know which technology they've been using lately, but there was a lot of stuff going on in California last year and
Yeah.
stuff like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so the technology from Tesla, it was out there, and I'm not sure if it's still the same technology that Slim was using, or it seems similar, but it's different. I think the resonance are different, just definitely a little bit different.
Well,
Um,
this is when you look at Slim stuff, and I don't have a harmonizer handy to show you, but when you look at his stuff, or I don't know if you can tell, I've got stuff back there that's metaforms. I've got stuff everywhere. I love this stuff. I
oh
even
yeah,
have a little one right here. Isn't that cool?
absolutely,
I got that in Sedona. It's really powerful. I don't know what it does, but I like it. Um,
perfect.
yeah, that's the way it is. But I think what this is more um, contained. And what Tesla was doing, a lot of what his work was, and Slim stuff, even though it was 30 miles, it still was contained.
Yes,
Whereas Tesla was pulling out of time and space. And so it probably could have been, can be used for time
yeah,
and space and matter.
yeah.
So, but okay, so you got the memo from the angels to start creating these incredible tools,
Yes.
and you are an engineer.
Well,
So
engineering technician, yes.
oh, okay, so I mean, are you still getting more? I mean, are they like you wake up and you've got a diagram in your head kind of thing?
Yeah, we do. I have more coming too. It's like we're working on creating a new pendant series that's based on star seeds. So we're going to actually create the tensor rings because there's approximately I think 10, 12, something like that, different frequencies in the rings. And what we're going to be doing is creating a pendant for a particular species or race that's out there. Let's say Andromedan, and we're going to tune which tensor ring to create the pendant out of so it resonates at that frequency, and then we're going to put the different crystals in there that helps them resonate at their home frequency to make them feel more natural, even here,
Even
right?
here.
Even here, and create it with the Metatron shielding crystals to create a force field around them so that they're protected from the environmental energies, but also create an energy field for them to feel more home and more natural so that they can be, why they came here for, to help resonate at a higher frequency for the planet and for everybody else. So
Oh,
that's where we're coming to on that one.
that
Um,
sounds fantastic.
yeah. And I had a download basically about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, and it was a multi-dimensional, is what we've been calling it. We really don't have any other name for it,
Uh-huh.
and it's made out of three tensor rings, and it's for your star chakra, crown chakra, and third eye chakra. And the energies are just so powerful that literally, when you put it on, it's just like whew, it opens you right up.
Oh, that's
Um,
fantastic.
yeah, it's been so powerful. It depends on where you are in your journey. If you're already connecting open and stuff like that, this pendant just amplifies that. If you're not open yet, it can be overwhelming. It's how powerful this is. It's
Ooh,
really, oh, it's
I
strong.
want to try it then. Well,
Everybody loves it. Yeah.
I love it. Well, I love the idea that there's ways for you to so in the past, opening up and reading the Akashic records and then going up, um, you kind of have to keep part of your essence holding the opening while you're doing the work.
Yeah.
So if a tool could help hold the opening, then more of
Yeah.
I am, at least for me, that would be a huge asset.
Yeah. It's basically has the crystals that'll actually create a shield. So it's got the Metatron crystal shielding effect in it. So it creates a force field just above your emotional field, right? And then it has the calming, healing, and clearing energies of the crystals in it. So it helps you keep your energy stable while you're working through this, and it'll allow you to actually, I mean, it's not an instantaneous, oh my God, it's open, unless you're already open, right? If you're already open and you're already connecting, it allows you to do it much easier. But
That's
if you're working towards it, you wear it during your meditations, and it'll allow you to progress faster. You see, it's
yeah.
not a perfect fix, but it
Yeah.
allows you
Well,
to progress.
yeah. Well, we have to do some work. I mean,
Yes.
these tools don't do spiritual bypassing for you. Sorry.
No, nope, they don't. No, you got to do the work.
Oh, well, should we show your website next, so people can see more about what you offer? Does that sound good?
Sure. We don't have everything up on the website right now because we're still shifting out the website,
Okay.
but yeah, we still have the anklets and the couple pendants up there.
Okay. So I'm going to hand it in.
Okay. Okay. Well, I can't hear you now either. The Arcturian Vortex Sedona, that one is limited time only. The stone in the very middle of that Sedona is actually Sedona Red Rock from an Arcturian Vortex up in Sedona, and it's extremely powerful pendant. I'm going to make another batch for about 10 to 20 of them, and then I'm going to actually I won't be able to do that for again for a while. That's pretty much the message I got for those.
Okay.
Is they're
Uh,
limited time only.
so I'm supposed to be Arcturian. Do does that help me connect more to my people? Is that what it's supposed to
It's
do?
Yeah, if you're sensitive for the Arcturian vortexes up in Sedona,
Yeah.
that one is extremely potent. It's just like when we were in that vortex, I mean, you're looking at the greenery around you, and it turns kind of a blue. And it's like green blue, and it's just like, okay, you're standing in this frequency, you can
Little
feel
bit
it, makes
of
your hair stand
gamma.
up. It's like, okay, this is amazing energy, and we got permission from the land to take a few of the rocks to actually make a couple pendants out of, and that's what we're making those from.
Yeah, I wish I had more money when I was with you because I would have bought everything. It was
Oh,
okay.
absolutely.
So,
And
and these are the anklets we're talking
yeah,
about that are
yes.
amazing.
And then we have multiple different versions of pendants. We have the Metatron, which is basically the same crystals that the anklets are created from, and
Okay.
that's what the one that's showing. Then we
Oh,
have
this
Archangel
one
Michael.
is Metatron.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
If you click on that, it'll bring you into the store for crystal
Okay.
for the pendants. So you do have the Sedona one there. You have the Archangel Michael, which is the smaller crystals from the Metatron down at the bottom there, and then you have turquoise on one side, green mica on the other side, and then selenite in the middle.
Love
And
so.
when you're wearing that one, it creates an energy shielding, so you're safe, and it also creates a calming with the turquoise, the heart healing with the green mica, and the selenite, which helps clear your field.
Mm.
It's like putting selenite in your room, and now you're wearing it.
Yeah.
And the tensor energy that Slim brought to the world creates like a field in the middle of the ring. And if you read his books, he explains this. So the tensor field is like when you're blowing bubbles. The soap film is just stationary and hides in the middle of that ring. The tensor field is the same way. So that tensor energy is actually intersecting all those crystals, and then it radiates out both sides of that ring like a flashlight. And then you put it, if you're wearing it and you're hanging it right where your heart chakra is, it literally connects to your energy field, right to your heart chakra, and it amplifies, and then it just feels amazing.
Yes. Wow. They're beautiful too. So
Yep.
and then so okay, so Archangel Michael would
Yep.
be perfect for someone who needs protection.
Yep.
He cuts cords, and he and Metatron. Well, anyway, we'll talk about that. But Michael is a great way to, if you're feeling that you're empathic or sensitive, and you can't control the outside energies. I bet that one would really help people, right?
Yeah. Well, the difference between the Michael and the Metatron is the tensor ring they're made out of is lost qubit, so it's going to work on on the emotional field and your etheric body.
Mhm.
So just by wearing the ring, it's dependent itself. That energy is going to work all the time. Now the crystals in the Metatron are pretty much 100% straight shielding. It's like putting on the anklets and they're shielding you. They're closing
Oh,
down so the anklets close down your torus, creating a shield. The Metatron pendant creates a shield, just like wearing a bubble shield on your body, just above your emotional field. So you have skin, emotional field, and then you have a force field just above that. So it's a multi-layering if you use like the Metatron anklets and pendant. If you're extremely overly sensitive to your environment, I mean, some people could use the Michael, which is very calming, clearing, and healing, on top of the shielding. So it depends on where you are. If you're super sensitive, you'd go with a double Metatron. So you'd go with the anklets and the pendant. If you can handle the shielding, the anklets do well, and they keep you good. Then you would go with a Michael on top of that to help clear and heal you at the same time. So the tools are definitely customized to what you're looking for.
right. And you could feel if you're sensitive, if you get to see these in person at the next whatever next event that you guys will be at, because you're starting to travel with them.
Oh yeah.
Uh, you'll feel a total difference between each one. I mean, not only are they attractive, but they definitely are. They're tools. They aren't
Oh yeah.
they aren't just jewelry. They're tools.
Oh no, these are tensor energy tools. They
Right.
are full
Right.
tools,
Right.
and they're basically helping you, for lack of a better word, for ascension, helping you get your own energy and protecting your energy and allowing you to do the work you need to do.
Right.
It's what they do. And there's a couple other pendants on there. The one on the far right, the selenite one.
Uh
I had a client nickname that one the chill pill because
huh.
it's really super calming. If you have somebody that's like super anxiety,
Uh-huh.
you put that on and it just calms you right out. As soon as you put it on, you can just feel your energy just go, whew, and you're
Oh,
just like,
oh, that's
okay, that's
wonderful.
cool.
That's wonderful. Well, yeah,
Yep,
but the thing is with the emotional, these could help you dig into what that is that's being triggered.
yep,
I mean, that all of the activity that we're having where we're feeling triggered
yep.
is actually a gift, right?
Yep. You dig into why you're triggered.
Right.
And and what the difference is when you're doing like utilizing tools similar to this or just getting into meditation and finding yourself, finding your core, and then okay, why am I so sensitive to that kind of energy? Why am I sensitive to those words that person said, or why am I triggered? You have to dig in and figure these out.
Right.
And the tools just allow you to be energy protected without actually intentionally focusing on it. And then what's really interesting about the tools, all of them, is they're intention-based tools. And, the anklets, the coil that you're using, even the pendants, and you can actually ask the pendant to actually why you're working with it or why you're being sensitive. It's like, okay, why am I responding this way to this?
Perfect.
Um, and we've actually used them for like protection, for energy protection. It's like, okay, make me invisible to anybody that do me harm, and then all of a sudden an attack will stop.
Wow.
And I mean, it's really that powerful.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's fantastic. That's
yeah.
fantastic. So, is there anything else on the site that you want me to show?
Well, the one right at the very bottom there, it's just a custom Archangel Metatron.
Uh-huh.
So what I do is I create you'll end up having something similar to a Michael, but it's a Metatron base pendant. So you're having the shielding, and then you can add the crystals that you resonate with. So if you like moldavite or danbarite or natrolite or any of the really high vibration stones, you can add it to the pendant, and the tensor ring itself will amplify those crystals into your field. And it's like if you're sensitive to moldavite now, oh yeah, wait till you try it with a pendant. It's just like, oh, it's empowering. It really is empowering. It's just so powerful.
Wow.
Mm.
And it says there's 9,994 in stock. So I guess people can order their own custom pretty easy.
Well, it's just one of the things for the storefront. It's like I had to put numbers on it.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like it's a custom order, so it is what it is.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. Wow. Well, thank you. So, is there anything else that you'd like me to show here?
no, not there. But what I can do is I can actually show on my screen here.
Okay, sure, sure.
Um,
I'll close that.
see this one here.
Oh, wow. What is that? Is that a new one?
That's the multi-dimensional one, yeah, with the three different rings, and it's.
Wow.
Let's see if I can.
And they're soldered together?
They're brazed. I use brass, not
Mhm.
because brass is stronger. So it has the three separate rings.
Okay,
So right here, so you have the inner ring here. That's a unity ring, similar to the anklet. So that's actually, that's your star chakra. So it helps. It has a higher being, has a higher star, has a higher chakra. It helps ground you,
right.
keep you here. We are here for a reason, so it helps keep you here, and balancing your chakra. So it's actually one of those things that's like here, and it's helping you stay here, for the job we're here to do. And then the next ring here is your galactic, and that actually is your crown chakra, and opens up your crown chakra to the higher self. Then the outer ring is the Remen cubit, which is the third eye, and it actually allows you to open up and see through problems.
Wow,
And
that's
then
beautiful.
all the crystals in here are all of the Michael crystals, basically. So you get this one's a tanzanite, and then you got lapis lazuli, and you got the tiger's eye, black onyx, and you have turquoise, green mica, and selenite. And then let's see if I can. I don't have it on me right now, but I have black light. They all the pendants do glow, so it's kind of a fun thing. Um, so when you wear them at night, you see yourself glowing. It's kind of fun. And this is actually a bigger pendant if you want to see a comparison. That's the Michael.
Oh, oh, it's even bigger. Wow.
Oh, it is bigger, yes, because you have the three rings.
So if you have these not on your body, but on it right by you, will it do the same? Does it have to touch your body to work?
No, I've had people put them, not necessarily like on a table next to you, but like within your field. So I've had women actually, put them in their bra for, instead of actually because of dress code, so they couldn't wear them as a pendant. I've had women put it in their purse or put it in their backpack,
Okay,
and it's inside your field, so it's connecting. Now, it's not connecting to your heart chakra, so it's not going to be as strong. So it's not connecting, it's not basically latching to your energy field and then amplifying. It's not that. So, I mean, it is powerful and they will work with you. But I mean, when you wear them, that the reason you wear them to your heart chakra is because of the energy field interaction between the pendant and
right.
you.
Well,
Yeah.
that's your soul star. I mean,
Yep.
that's your note that you play, your
Yep.
frequency note, right?
Correct. Yeah.
So can you tell any stories of people that they've told you of how, I mean, I sort of told you a couple of stories how I'm using them,
Yeah.
but could you share anything of how people's are getting great results?
Uh, um, just this last weekend, we had three individuals at the conference. The first lady, she came last year to the same conference at Mount Shasta. She looked at the pendants and she really didn't connect with them last year. And that's fine. She wasn't ready for them. This year, she walks up and we started talking, and she picked up the Michael, literally just held it in her hand, hadn't put it to our heart yet. And the minute she connected to it, I mean, she just started releasing. And she sat, we had to get a chair for her, let her sit down, and she sat there and released for about an hour. And it was the
Wow.
most beautiful thing you'd ever seen. And at that point, she just, after, I mean, literally after that day, she was just like a completely different person because she was actually able to express and feel. And the Michael pendant allowed her to do that.
Wow.
Um, Yeah, and we had another lady do the same thing. It wasn't quite as powerful for release, but it was more of a I can feel who I am, because it was actually she was protected energetically, and then she just felt the calm and the heart healing of the pendant itself, and she just really broke down. It's like, oh, this is just beautiful, and I've never been able to feel this type of energy before, and it was just super empowering. Um, And the last individual was a gentleman who came in with hip issues and stuff like that, and he used that coil that you showed, and was working on that and literally meditating with that for about 10-15 minutes, doing the breath work, and he could literally feel the energy that was actually causing him pain leaving because he was focusing on the source of it. So pulling the source negative energy causing the problems, and that body was healing that fast, and the energy was able to recover. And then he put the Michael pendant on, and then he just started breaking down too, just because of the energy he could feel. And that's the love. It really is. You can feel the love of it when you can actually feel your own source and reflecting back at you, and it's like, okay, I am source. Okay, this is interesting. Never felt that before. It allows you to feel your own energy to the point where it's like, okay, this is impressive. I've never felt this before.
Oh,
Um, so we've had just this last weekend, we've had some very, very impressive, responses to, the tools and how people just, you know, how they respond to how the tools work for them. I mean, I can explain how the pendants work and the general energies of them. It's like, yes, the anklets close down your field, so you're not over. When you walk into Costco, you're not bombarded by everybody's energy. Everybody's stressed out, running around. You don't feel that anymore,
yeah.
and the grounding effect. But the effect on your field, on how you feel within that field, when all of a sudden you're not bombarded, is completely individual. It's just one of those things.
Yeah, I think that's really the key is that a lot of sensitives are saying, I don't even want to go out. I mean,
Yeah,
at first it was, we have to stay in, right?
yeah,
Because of the pandemic. But then after people started venturing out, it was like, oh, I'm too sensitive. I can hardly stand to be, and there's so much contrast out there right now anyway,
yeah,
that people were struggling with that. But what I'm seeing with, I don't know if it's these tools, but it's you become more the observer.
yeah,
You really aren't in judgment because nothing anyone else can do really threatens you. I mean, I don't know about physical. I imagine if your physical
yeah,
body felt threatened, you would do it.
yeah,
But the other of it is like watching people's story, watch them play it out, and
yeah,
and then holding a loving kindness space for them to
yeah,
be all they can
yeah.
be, right?
Yeah, you're exactly right. By closing down your field, you become an observer. You're no longer experiencing everybody else around you.
Right,
And it really is that impactful. You said it exactly the way it needed to be said. The observer. You become the observer of the environment, and you become less judgmental, because when you're impacted by somebody else's energy, you start judging their energy. By not feeling their energy, you become more compassionate based on their experience,
right,
and you can actually talk to them, without judging what they're experiencing,
right.
because you're not feeling it.
Well, you guys are in the public. I mean, by you having a booth, I
Yeah,
do a metaphysical fair a couple times a
yeah,
year, 3 times a year maybe, where I sell jewelry that I make,
yeah,
and I love being out in my little booth. I do, but I think a lot of people are really struggling with
yeah,
not taking on everyone else's stuff, and
yeah.
that's why these tools are so fantastic for people that are sensitive and really don't have a way to clear their field.
Yeah, well, it takes a lot of practice. I mean, I do mean a lot of practice to actually get your shields up, understanding your shields, making it, making the intention of keeping, excuse me, the shields up and
Yeah,
going when you're going out in the public. And what happens is when people, okay, I'm putting up my shields, and you wake up in the morning, I got my shields up. But the minute you start encountering stress, or you start dealing with it, you're changing your energy, and all of a sudden your shields drop and you don't realize it. What these do is they allow you to actually go into the public, with an automatic set of shields, and you continue to do that the training of putting up your own shields. Just keep doing that and doing that and doing it. But the more you do it, the better you get at it, and that's that's exactly what needs to happen. These
Right.
tools are allowing you to do that without, worrying about your day to day. And the more you become stable with your own energy field, the more powerful you become.
Yeah. Well,
So yeah.
it's coherence. That's all I can say. The other is discordant energy, and it's almost like you can't even experience yourself fully until you clear that field. And I don't know if people understand what I'm saying, but you do.
Yeah. Well, it's when people try on the anklets, the first thing they feel is the instant grounding. If they're not sensitive, they'll feel the grounding instantly. And
Right.
it's just like, wow, I feel like my feet just got 10 pounds heavier. I just feel heavier. And it's not, you're not weight changing. You feel the grounding effect. But for the people that are really sensitive, you all of a sudden you just feel it's like, okay, the room just got quiet, but it's still loud. This is interesting. What was that? It's just like, okay, so that's an energy cone of silence. It's just like, you know, it's just, making fun of it a little bit, but yeah, it's just like, somebody just hit mute on the energy side of things, and all of a sudden now you can just feel your own energy.
Wow, you can
And
focus.
yeah, and it allows you to focus without disruptions, without distractions, energetically. And we don't realize how much energetic distraction we actually have. It makes a huge, huge difference on who we are and how we present ourselves, because we end up being distracted.
Excuse me. I think it's a productivity tool for me. That's why I
Mhm.
was saying that I can actually go from something where I help somebody and go way out and then come right back in, using, which again, I need to get another one. Um,
Yeah. Yes.
so have you found that, well, I guess this is a different, well, how do I say this? Are you optimistic about what's happening in the future and how these tools? I mean, obviously, you're on a mission. This is an assignment for you
Oh
guys.
yeah. No, this
Yeah,
is
yeah,
this is why I'm here. I'm here to help people progress through the problems that we're dealing with. And truthfully, what I'm seeing out in the public eye is an enemy that seems to be flailing around. It's like a cornered animal, and they're going to lash out at everything and everyone, because they don't have any footing anymore. They've lost their narrative. They're losing control. They're trying everything. The pandemic is over, but they're trying continuously to keep people in the fear state.
right,
And the pandemic was really never really a full pandemic. If you look at the numbers right out of the CDC, it was basically the COVID was the flu. If you look at the numbers, there's really no difference. And yes, people were dying. So I mean, every year when you have a change in flu, people do die. So it's one of those things. It's just the flu change or the COVID. I'm not saying COVID was not real. It was definitely real. And it looked like it may have been engineered, but we don't know until everything comes out, and when the truth comes out. But what we need to do is focus on the fact that there is propaganda, and there's a lot of it. And what they pushing is the fear and the energy of fear. So if you can use these tools to help protect your energy field from that projection, you can look at things more objectively. And when, like, this whole time I was watching the stories going along, I'm wearing the tools and I'm like, I'm not buying that. I'm looking at the newscasters, and they're saying this fear, 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 fear. But then if you can, then I was like, well, that doesn't make sense. They're saying this week, and they're saying this week, and it does. I mean, you're not saying the same thing. But then you go and look at the data, the real data, the data-driven decisions type stuff, and you look at the real data, and none of it made sense the way they're talking about it on the news.
right,
So it makes sense to actually, okay, protect my own energy, understand who I am, project myself as as the empowerment and the individual, the powerful person that I am, and the powerful person that you are. And then understand, once you understand that, and you can actually stay in your own power, they can't fool you. They really can't. They can try, and they may get a little bit over you, and you make you think and ponder for a few, and then sit back and meditate and understand. And it's like, okay, that really doesn't make sense. It doesn't jive with the way I feel things are moving, right?
right, right,
So it makes a big difference. All these narratives that they're pushing, whether it's the gun violence, I'm like, okay, So they want to take the guns away. Okay. Was it the gun that did it? No. The
Right.
gun did not do it. It's like, and now they're trying to say California is trying to do, oh, we're going to allow people to sue the gun manufacturer. Okay, so you're going to tell me that I can go out and sue this pen manufacturer for my spelling mistakes?
Well,
Are
so
you kidding me?
well, that's what I'm saying. So this is some spiritual people call this an inverted matrix.
Yeah,
And when you look at this, it is as though a lot of it, everything's upside down.
it is.
And actually, our eyes create, do, our eye collects information and turns it upside down to use our brain.
Yeah,
So we may be in an inverted matrix, and we're just starting to see out of um, how extraordinary
yeah,
the storyline is. That's what I was talking about. Is
yeah,
if you're highly sensitive and you're watching, you get drawn into people's dramas. There, that is just exhausting. You can't do
yeah,
what you're here to do with your life in the world if you are part of everyone else's
yeah.
storyline.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, the news has been turned into something that it shouldn't be, and the narratives that they're pushing are for an agenda. And when you sit back and you look at yourself as an observer and watching, it really, none of it really makes any sense at this point unless they're looking to control everybody and everything about the individual. And that's what they're trying to do. And as our ascension goes, we're trying to open up and bring more power out too.
Yes.
So they're trying to take away our power. We're trying to bring out more power. So we're definitely on opposite sides of the narrative here.
Right. Right.
And that's why it's like, and I know there's a lot of people that are awake that would probably not agree with me on a lot of different things, but that's okay. We're all trying to wake up and we're all trying to be more of who we are.
Right.
And
I think
yeah,
these help you hold more of your own light. I mean, we are
correct.
really light beings projecting this physical body from a higher realm.
Yeah,
And the more light that we can hold here, the more good stuff we can do, more energy we
yeah,
have to transform. And I think we planned it that way. So
yeah,
I'm delighted to introduce my audience to your tools and to your work, and to have them sense your energy and see that you are an angel. I don't know
thank
who
you.
you are, but you are. um, and see that the possibilities are endless once you get tools like this in your kit.
Yeah,
I mean, productivity changes when you're not in constant
yeah,
drag by EMFs, by other outside energies, by the chaos, by global consciousness. If you're
yeah,
sensitive, you're feeling the fear of this and that, and
yeah,
you don't even know where it comes from, and you
yeah,
sometimes think it's you, but it's not.
no. Yeah, one of the interesting things were a friend of mine, he went out and he purchased a Michael pendant. And it's like we're in the market now where everybody is selling an EMF protector sticker for your phone, EMF protection for this, EMF protection for that. And he muscle tested all of the EMF tools he had, and the effectiveness on all of them went from 40% all the way up to 95%.
Oh,
Right. And it was a 5G BioShield and a couple, and I think it was like 4 or 5 other ones he had tested. The one that was 95% effective was the Michael.
that makes sense, though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I didn't ask him to do that. He did it on his own. And he came back and he told me about this. And I was like, oh, cool. This is really neat. I didn't realize that. But, I was
Right.
like,
Well,
yeah, thank
I
you.
could sense it. And I can
Yeah.
sense, I mean, all of these tools. I mean, that's what I'm saying. When you put your intention in, all of that other stuff goes away
Yeah.
because the focus.
Yeah.
And I think this time period, for those of us that came here to do stuff,
Yeah.
we need tools like this to be able to shut out the noise.
Yeah. Yes. Well, that's exactly what we need. We need to actually remember who we are.
Yeah.
I mean, we may not be able to remember, but at least if we can feel our own energy, we'll understand, where our heart sits and where our heart feels. It allows you to open up and allows you to feel. It's one of those things when you're, especially for empathic and really sensitive people, if you're feeling a room, who am I in this room? If I'm in a sea of energy of all these different people, who am I in this room? So the tools allow you to actually feel who you are and stay in your power while you're interacting with all these other energies. Yeah.
It allows you to walk in the room and
Oh, big time.
change the room.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I like about it, because
Yep.
I mean, there you become the resonant, the strongest resonant frequency in the
Yep.
room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the biggest thing was like when I was wearing the pendant and the anklets going into a conference. It was such a difference from when we first, Vivian and I started going conferences. I didn't have the tools. I didn't have them with me.
Oh,
And it was just, I could feel the energy of the room. And by the end of the day, I was completely depleted and tired because I had absorbed so much energy. Um, but now when we do it, yes, I'm exhausted by the end of the day. It's because I'm actually talking with people and interacting, and I'm not overwhelmed by the energy of the room. It's just, just the time and energy.
yeah. And it's your and Vivian's energy is so
Oh, that too.
beautiful
Yeah.
together too.
Oh,
So
thank you.
well, we're running out of time, so I'd love to make sure that everyone knows how to reach you. I know your website is Energies of Service, and that's Energies of Service. I'll put it up on the screen again.
Okay.
But is there other ways to reach you, Peter?
At Pete at Energies of Service is my email.
Okay.
And then energiesofservice.com, we also have a contact us window in there so you can actually put your name, your email, and a question if you have any questions. But yeah, we're full, I'm fully available for email conversations. Depending on how busy I get, I may not respond right away. It just,
Yeah.
that happens. It's life.
Yeah.
Um, and yeah, but if the information's out there, I have a baby little itty bitty YouTube channel with a few videos up there. I need to do more to explain the tools a little bit more. And we're going to get video feedback from a lot of our clients to help people understand the energies and how they affected them.
Right, right.
So it's yeah,
That's more powerful than you bragging about it anyway.
yep, oh yeah.
I mean, honestly, you guys, this is, you got to get one. That's all I can say. You
Yeah,
you
that's
do is
really
you got
powerful.
to make some more.
Oh,
So,
definitely.
so because what you'll see is, I mean, you could say a prayer like I do. I work with Saint Germain, and you can say one of the I am decrees in the morning, and then open the
Yeah,
Akashic records and all of that. But this thing changes the whole focus, so that there's no drag, there's
yeah,
no drag on you,
yeah,
and that you don't want to waste this this experience.
yeah,
That's all I can say.
yeah. They're intention tools, and you can use them any way you need um, to help clear any obstacle you have, to help materialize things into your life, to help remove things from your life, and it's all using your intentions, and it's what they're for. All the tools are intention based tools and assisting in your path.
Well, a lot of the people that watch this are small business owners that are
Yeah,
servant leaders. And so I really think they would really benefit by getting a pendant, getting the anklets, and getting this device, because I
yeah,
think they would see a big difference in it, almost as a self love opportunity, because they're
yeah.
giving out everything to everyone else, and
Yeah.
this would help them really fortify their field. So,
Oh yeah, yeah. When you're dealing with the public, absolutely, they're powerful tools to help you protect yourself. Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. Well, thank you so much, Peter. I can't wait to see you and Vivian again.
Oh,
And
thank you.
I will have to keep in touch so we make sure we know where you're going to be next.
Yes, on the website, we also have the event calendar showing. I think it's scrolling on the website now.
Okay.
For all of our future events, we have them all listed out.
Oh, good. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll talk about that too, because I'm always doing something. So,
Perfect.
yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank
Thank you,
you.
Kathy.
Bless
It's been
you.
a blessing.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I so appreciate you. Thank
Oh,
you.
thank you, Kathy. Appreciate you too.
Bye bye.